Coming up next, I'm giving y'all part 2 of Alone in Prison. Lil Jojo is gonna have to make some decisions that's ultimately gonna decide whether he can live or not in jail. Stay tuned, y'all. Prison Talk Show coming up next. What up, what up, what up? We are back in my Jersey street corner, and this is the Prison Talk Show, people. If you're tuning in, this is part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, I will definitely leave the link in the section below. Now, this is Lil Jojo part 2. The punishment. Jojo is about to figure out exactly what it's like to be in jail. Because he ain't never been anywhere but his parents' house. But he gonna find out today. Oh, he gonna find out today. Yeah. Stay tuned, y'all. Coming up. Now, I don't know if you saw part 1 or not, the crime. But clearly, Jojo is not built like that. What he did was spur of the moment. Something clicked in his brain that went totally left. And right now, in the county jail, Jojo does not have a weapon. So, there will be no ultimatums. There will be no courage. He's just like the cowardly lion stuck around a bunch of bears ready to rip him apart. So, Jojo would get his first interaction with other inmates in the bullpen. That's where they hold you all together, and you know, that's where you get pressed the most upon entry from the rip. Real G's? Yo, what you in here for? Yo, what's good? Mind you, it'd be like 40, 50 y'all pressed in one room that's really only made to hold about good 20 people comfortably. They don't care. They just push y'all in there. They don't care if y'all pressed up against each other, against the glass. Now, you got jokers in there trying to provoke you into a fight. You never know. There's other people in there that's scared. They might just try and pop off on you because they scared and they'd rather get taken out of that place with all of those inmates to a lockup cell by themselves. They'd take that risk and that charge because, oh yeah, that's a charge. But you got to be ready for anything in the bullpen. People come in the bullpen and still got weapons on them. Still got all types of stuff on them because this is not really, you're arrested, but you right off the streets and they miss stuff a lot. It happens. Trust me, y'all. So, when he would get down to the county finally, he would get his first introduction to being in a cell with somebody else. And you know, dude been in there a little while longer than him, so he got the bottom bunk. He gonna lay down the law, tell him what it is and what it ain't, what you're not gonna do up in this cell, what you can do in this cell, which is pretty much whatever he tell him he could do. Unless, you know, that's when it comes into fighting for territory. But I don't think Lil Jojo ready for all of that. This is just county time. He ain't even get sentenced yet to go to prison. Or rather, he is sentenced, but he ain't get shipped off yet. Put it that way. This is just his county time. And he get lucky. He get a nice, you know, bunkie. Dude show him the ropes and tell him, you know, what it is and how you gotta get commissary and how he get his phone calls and all that. But dude also tell him, like, listen, I can't put myself on the line for you. I don't really know you, dude. So you can't latch on to me and think you're gonna be safe up in here because I can't say I got your back. You're not from where I'm from. We not peoples. I'm just extending a little gratuity to you because we in the same cell and we got to live together. So you're going to have to figure it out, my man. And that's just what has to happen in prison. You can't just go around saving everybody. If that was the case, it wouldn't be no violence in prison, would it? Well, JoJo would, go walk around the pod, talk to people, and there's a million people that's going to give you a bunch of lies and beat down stories all day long if that's what you're into. Pardon me. Neck got a little stiff. Let me kick it back. If that's what you're into, y'all. But the more you walk around that pod, the more you see that you are surrounded by not only criminals, but you got stupid ones in there. You got a lot of smart ones. You got some really bad ones in there. You are mixed in with everybody. So, the guy that went and robbed the convenience store, he's still sitting there playing cards with a murderer. Yeah. You have no idea what you're up against when you go to jail. But they don't care. They don't care that this guy might have a short fuse and he might unalive you over a card game because he think you cheated when he lost fair and square. Yeah. This is the same type of treatment that normally leads people, well, let's just say down a rabbit hole of bad actions and decisions. Yeah. Things get worse and worse in jail or prison. What card they say, worser and worser. Now JoJo, he ain't have two nickels to rub together. But he saw that, it get real lonely at dinner time around there. Everybody go to the mess hall around 6 o'clock. That's a snack, what they giving you to eat. What the state give you to live off of is a snack, y'all. It's a shame. So, around 8:30, everybody, start getting ready to have their real dinner. That's everybody, meaning the people that have commissary. They got soups, they got they got tuna, they got chicken, summer sausage, all that. They got the seasonings, they about to hook it up. Got the little cheese spread. They're going to make them a nice little hookup. But you ain't invited to that hookup unless somebody being real, real nice, which is very rare in jail or prison. If you ain't got your own, you asked out. So JoJo decided he was going to try and ask somebody, the store guy, to borrow some soups and some items that he can make his own hookup. And the store guy like, yeah, I don't really know you like that, dude. Like, how I know you're not going to hit the gate or, you're going to be up out of here tomorrow and owe me a bunch of money. I can't front you. You got to be in jail. You got to be in the pod for at least, like a month or two before I could start fronting you stuff when I'm sure you're not going nowhere. Because I don't want to have to do nothing to you. You know what I mean? Like, you go off of my stuff, I'm going to have to find you. Literally, I'm going to have people find you through the grapevine. And when they find you, it's not going to be pretty. So, let's save both of us that, problem. And JoJo like, I fair enough. JoJo decided he got to go down to that, that mess hall. He never been there before. He's scared out of his mind to go down to the mess hall. That's how he was trying to, maneuver some food on the tier. He didn't want to leave that tear, y'all. He was scared out of his mind. Now, Bunky gave him some good tips. He told him, sit with your people. And Jojo like, what you mean my people? Jojo don't know nobody. Jojo is not a hood guy. He's not a gangster, y'all. So, the chances of Jojo knowing anybody in a jail or prison is slim to none. Jojo get down to that mess hall, y'all. And he gets his food. And he's walking. And he just sits at a table. He just sees a bunch of empty seats and he sits at the table. Immediately, after 3 or 4 minutes go by, he realizes he sat at the wrong table. A whole bunch of Hispanic gang members start approaching him at the table. They sat down around him, put their food down, start eating their food, and they looked at Jojo and said, hey, you trying to join our gang? And he said, huh? If you're sitting at our table, you must be trying to join our gang. He said, oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't know this was your table. One of the leaders said, we don't want to hear that sorry shit, man. Get the fuck up and get out of here right now. Go find somewhere else to sit. So, he would get up and he would start heading toward another table. As soon as he went to go try and sit down, they'll say, whoa, somebody's sitting there. Who you? They're like, yo, what that be about? What you doing, yo? What you doing? Oh, nah, I ain't no blood. Yo, you need to get out of here right now, yo. I ain't gonna say it again. Now, last table he would try and sit at just so happened to be a neutron table. But this is where it gets even worse for Jojo. Even the neutrons looked at Jojo like an outsider. Even though he was from the same place they was from, a lot of them, whether they knew it or not, whether he knew it or not. But they never saw him in the streets. He ain't never put in no work. Jojo should not have been in prison. Jojo probably should have been in a mental institution because what he did was way out of his character. So something didn't go right in his brain. At least that's my assumption. I don't know about y'all. Get in the comment box, y'all. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Give me a comment, y'all. What y'all think? This is part 2, Lil Jojo. The punishment. Alright, y'all. Back to it. We're going to get back to it. Jojo ended up sitting on the floor, y'all. He couldn't sit with nobody. And it was at that moment Jojo realized he didn't know a single person in that prison. Not one familiar face. Not one. Now, not saying that's good, not saying that's bad, people. What do y'all think? Get in the comments. Me personally, I don't know. I think it's bad. It kind of says that you're not a well-rounded person. Maybe, but I find that in all walks of life, connections are what you live by. Whether that's legal or illegal, you need some kind of connections. This guy, Jojo, spent his whole life playing games, eating frozen pizza in his parents' house. His parents are over him. They sent him a little bit of money for commissary, but nowhere enough to survive. Jojo is going to have to figure it out. And well, even on the way to find his corner to sit in on the floor, Jojo got tripped. He ended up with half of his lunch on his face. And until Jojo finally decided to stand up for himself, Jojo was having a pretty hard time. Jojo couldn't take it no more. He took the lunch tray and he threw it right at the table that tripped him. He ain't exactly hit the person that tripped him, but he hit one of the people that was laughing at the fact that he got tripped up and fell and had mashed potatoes all over his face. Needless to say, y'all, Jojo got beat down to the fifth power up in there. Yeah. Jojo left that cafeteria in a stretcher. They had to mace a whole table of bloods. They beat the brakes off of Jojo. But he got their respect. They ain't feel no type of way that he threw the tray. They respected him for standing up for himself. And they ain't really had no problem with him besides that after that. They let it go. So, Jojo got shipped up out of there, of course, because after getting assaulted by that many people, beat down, there's no way they're keeping you in jail after that. That was just in the county jail, y'all. I don't know how Jojo, the rest of his bid was when he ended up in state, because I'm sure he ended up in state prison, y'all. I just hope that Lil Jojo didn't end up somebody's wife, because he was very timid. And Jojo didn't have too much weight on him. He should have been working on himself, getting his body right, getting himself physically fit to defend himself. Because in the penitentiary, the real prison, you got predators, you got monsters, and you got to be able to fend them off. Fight for your life. They're coming at you with knives. They're coming at you with fists. They don't care. They're going to stomp you in the ground till you stop breathing if you let them. What would you do? Get in the comment box, y'all. Let me know something. What would you do if you was Lil Jojo? Would you man up? Face your fears? Go head up with the biggest gangster you could find to claim your dominance in that prison, in that jail? Or would you go cower in the corner and eat your lunch with half of it on your face like Jojo did? Do you think Jojo deserved what happened to him? What do y'all think, y'all? Get in the comment box. Should this man have received medical treatment rather than imprisonment with people who don't care or understand a medical condition? Jojo has no idea why he's where he's at. He don't know what he did was wrong. So who's at fault, people? Is it Jojo or the people that convicted him? Y'all gotta let me know, y'all. I really need y'all to let me know because I'm torn between my decision. Jojo should have never did what he did. But the jury and the judge that convicted this man and put him in prison with animals who really don't care about life, well, that in itself was a crazy decision. Alright, y'all, look. This is going to wrap up Lil Jojo Part 2. You know what happened to him now? My guys, my youngsters out there. When I say youngsters, I mean 20 plus. Listen to me. I'm not telling no stories. Well, this is a story time, but I'm not telling no stories. Stuff like this happens in prison every day. Don't go doing crimes if you can't do the time. I'd rather you just don't do crime. But if you have to, don't get locked up in a county way away from yours that you don't know nobody in that county. If you do, immediately ask for a transfer back towards your county. No harm in asking. Because chances are, if you about that life, if you get into a county where you're closer from, you're going to bump into some associates. And then y'all can coexist. But being from a place where you're not from, it's just not a good look. You don't want to end up eating off of the floor. Alright? Because things get flipped upside down like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in the New York Minute in the prison system. Listen, this is your boy J.S. Corner. This is the Prison Talk Show. And I'm going to get back up with all of y'all in just a hot minute. Like, share, subscribe. Y'all know what it is. I'm out.